welcome back to my channel, folks. Poetic Does It, and today we doing some neck bones, y'all. Some raw neck bones. It's gonna be neck bones, Yukon Gold potatoes, and some cornbread. Now, a lot of people can get the smoked neck bones as well, but don't forget, if you get those smoked neck bones, those are pretty salty if you're dealing with some blood pressure issues. But these, you can salt them to your taste and make them your way. Alright. Now, the first thing you need to make these, and it's real easy. A lot of people be thinking it's real hard, but I'm about to show you how to do it. The only thing you need to do to get this popping is this here. A pot of boiling water. Now, when you get the boiling water, you want it boiling to like the point where it's roaring. Now, I know you see those little bubbles there. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the bubbles. You know how I feel about those bubbles. So maybe go back to the old videos on how I do the bubbles. But it's almost getting there. Now, once this gets to a roaring bubble, this is what I'm going to add, y'all. I'm going to add some onion powder, some garlic powder, Morton's Nature Seasons, and some Lawry's seasoning salt. Now, the one thing you want to do with this, if you add these two, you ain't got to. You can also add one or the other. But be light on those, because if you don't be light, you're going to have a lot of salt. Because this is like seasoning salt too. It just got a lot more stuff than seasoning salt. And you know, seasoning salt got everything under the sun as well as salt. So if you add them, be gentle on the seasonings if you have high blood pressure. Now, along with those, I'm also going to add onion powder. Now, this may be funny to y'all because when I add the onion powder, I also add chopped onions. And I add the chopped onions because I like that thickness of the onion flavor inside the water. Also, don't forget, add some pepper. Now, it ain't got to be fresh ground pepper like this. And if you got a problem with my pepper being empty, you know how I cook. So, hey, it's going to be empty. Give me some more. You can add that. You can add ground pepper, whichever you like. And then, along with the meal, we're going to make some cornbread, y'all. With Jiffy corn muffin mix. Now, you can either make these in muffins like they got on the picture, or you can put it in the pot and make some cornbread. Either way, it's going to be good. Also, I add 2 tablespoons of butter. You can use unsalted or salted. I can actually add that right now. So once this gets boiling, I'm going to start adding those seasons. Let those seasons marinate up in the water. And then we're going to add our neck bones, y'all. Now, a big question people have is, do you rinse them? Do you wash them off? I'm going to leave that up to you. If you like to rinse your meat, rinse your meat. If you don't, that's on you. My personal preference, I was brought up by my grandma and my mama, rinse that damn meat. And then after you rinse that damn meat, clean your damn sink with the bleach. Don't be going around rinsing off raw ass meat and then turn around and make a sandwich on the counter, because you know that water splashes up and shit. But that's at your discretion. However you like to do it, that's up to you. I don't discriminate. I'm just saying what I like to do. I'm a rinser. Like it or not, that's how I rinse it. I gotta eat it. I'm still alive. I've been brought up on rinse meat and I'm alright. I just talk shit from time to time. Alright, y'all. I'm going to wait for this water to get to boiling, and you know how I do. I'm going to come back to y'all through the miracle of time. When this get to boiling, I'm going to add my butter and my seasonings, and this beautiful neck bones right here. These is a good pack right here, looking real good. Now, I know it's a little shadow on that. Let me try to move that for the shadow. No, it's going to be a shadow regardless on it, but it's all right. You get the idea. That's a good shot right there. Yeah. So, I'm going to get to add those. And we're going to get it popping, y'all. It don't take much at all. Wait and see. Let's get it. Ooh, look at that boil. That's that boil. You know how I feel about the boils. Look at that steam. Okay, now that's what I'm talking about when I say a roaring bubble. Okay, now I got my butter here. I'm going to add that now. This is unsalted butter. Let me see if you can see that. Mine is unsalted. Like I said, I got problems with the pressures too. So I don't want to add salted, whereas I'm already adding seasoning salt in the Morton seasoning. Okay, now for my chopped onions, I'm going to add that. Even though it's one big solid ass block, it's going to break apart. I'm going to add my seasoning salt. Okay. Now, you're probably saying, how much? Shake about, Shake 5 times. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I miscounted, whatever, you'll be alright. But one of the reasons why I like to get the water, and I'm sorry, I'm adjusting my camera while I'm talking to you. I don't want my shit to fall in the water. But let me add the onion powder. It's more so the taste, because this way, if you season the water, and that's my garlic, if you season the water before you add the meat, you get the taste, you know what I'm saying, the water. That way you can be like, ooh, this too salty, that's just right, stuff like that. So that's why I season my water before I add the meat, because you don't want to be tasting that when the meat's already in there, okay? Now, for those of you that don't eat pork, and I know I'm talking while it's boiling, but just get a look at that. See all those flavors going on in there while it's boiling. Now, for those of you that don't eat pork, there are also beef neck bones, because the ones I'm about to cook are pork. And I know pork is got salt in it itself. That's why when I went to the butter, I just did unsalted. I'm using this Morton's, and I'm using this seasoning salt. I'm going to add the pepper probably off cam, because I'm holding my camera right now, and I have to churn it to add it to the pot. So I didn't forget about my pepper. You can also add crushed red peppercorn too, because ooh, that add a nice little spice to it. But I'm not just eating this myself, and I don't want to burn nobody else's mouth, even though I love me some spice. But like I was saying, if you don't like pork neck bones, there is also beef neck bones. The only thing about beef neck bones is they take a lot longer to cook. Now, because I'm cooking my potatoes and the neck bones in the same pot, it's going to take a little longer. I say, you want to cook the neck bones until they're nice and tender. So it all depends on your stove. Like my stove goes to low, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. High. Your stove might go to low, medium, mid, high, high, whatever. So the whole point, make sure no matter what, while you're boiling it, keep the water above the neck bones. That's what you want to do. You don't want to sit up there and let the water get low. Like right now, the water looks like it's gotten a little lower, but that's okay. So for those of you that don't like pork, use the same seasonings with the beef neck bones. And if you like to rinse them off. If you don't, you like to throw them in the pot because we're boiling it anyway, that's up to you. I don't discriminate. So I'm going to let this get to boiling and marinating in that boil. Get those seasons real cooked. I'm going to give me a taste later on of the broth to see if I need to add something a little extra. Because that's what we're basically making here, you guys. We're making a broth for the neck bones. So, smells good already. Oh, I smell that onion out. Oh, I got fresh garlic. Oh, snap. Oh, snap, folks. If I feel the urge, I just might add some fresh garlic in there. I don't know. It depends on how that broth tastes. But ain't nothing like no fresh onion and garlic right up in that broth. But see, you gotta let it broth cook and simmer. You gotta let it simmer down now. Alright, y'all, so I'm gonna let that do that thing. I didn't forget about my pepper. I'm about to go ahead and crank that pepper on up in there. I'm gonna let it boil and cook a little bit, and then I'm gonna give it a taste to see if I need to add anything extra. Again, you don't have to add what I add. I mean, if you prefer seasoning salt and not the Morton's, that's fine too. Add one or the other, because this stuff is good. But I find with this, it's nice and good. But to me, well, my taste when I add this by itself, check out the Facebook page and the Instagram. I tend to have to add Lawry's. You know, I like Lawry's. I was brought up on Lawry seasoning salt. But they also have Lawry seasoning salt and low sodium as well. So if salt is a problem for you, get the low sodium. You know what I mean? Get the low sodium, and the low sodium mixed with the unsalted butter. You'll be alright. And shoot, if you're not, drink some water with this. Speaking of drinking, I'm about to crack me open a beer real quick. Get my sip on and let this do its thing until I come back. I'll see y'all in a minute. Look at that. See how the onions broke apart? That's what I'm saying. Even though it's frozen, throw that junk in the hot water. Look at it. Alright, so here's my neck bones nice and clean. Like I said, I'm a rinser. Now I'm looking at this amount of neck bones. I think I might have underestimated the size of my pot. Well, if so, what I'll do is, and I do this all the time for my lobster And crab leg boils, I usually do them in here. So if I need to, I will boil my neck bones in this pot. This is one of those roasters. And what I do is I usually just put it on 2 eyes, set them at the same temperature, and get it popping. But we about to see, so let me start adding these. And I tasted my seasoned water. It's on point. Now at this point, while they raw, oh, they connected. Look at that. Well, at this point, you don't want to be dipping your spoon in there and tasting that now. I think they might all fit in here. If not, I might just, like I said, put them in the roasting pot all together. We gonna see. And again, hey, if you like to rinse, if you don't like to rinse, I don't judge. That's completely up to you, because just like this, I'm eating this, you're not. So whatever I decide to do, or however I decide to cook my food, is not going to affect you. But if you're bored and want to troll and got time today to talk some mess, you go ahead and talk your mess. However, my health, what I'm doing, do not affect you. So if you don't like to rinse it, don't rinse it. Do your thing, pop it in there raw dog, and let it boil. And I gotta be careful because it look like it's almost gonna overflow. I got 2 more to add. That's 1. Oh, and 2. I got it in there. Sorry, folks, if you can't really see clearly. Like I said, I'm holding my camera with 1 hand. I am using a stand. I am holding a stand, and the stand is just not tall enough to reach the stove clearly, so I have to hold it in my hand. Here we go. Oh, I just spilled. But that's good. I got it all in there. Now, like I said before, you're going to let this boil. Now, what's going to happen is, if you can, don't let it get this high. But I've been making neck bones forever. So, I know what I'm doing. It'll be alright. Now, what you want to do is, these are going to cook, right? They're going to boil. They're going to turn gray. That's okay. Once they turn gray, oh, I got a special ingredients, folks. Mustard. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to add some mustard to it. That's the secret ingredient right there, the neck bones. It's mustard. It ain't got to be honey Dijon. It don't got to be grape poupon. Just regular ass yellow mustard. But we're going to add that once the neck bones turn that gray color they turn. Yes. Let this boil down. Now, if you got it up this high, beware, folks. You see the water level here. It may boil over, and do all that kind of stuff. If it starts to boil over, turn your heat down. Turn your heat down, because, like I said, you're going to cook this until the meat is tender. There's no certain cook time, because everybody's stove is different. So when this meat is tender, you can take a fork and pull it off with no problem, and you bite it, and it's nice and tender and juicy. They're done, but we're going to get to that later. So I'm going to let these boil up until they get gray. Once they turn gray, I'm going to add that yellow mustard. The secret ingredient. The secret ingredient is to the flavor of neck bones. See, I threw that monkey wrench in on your asses, didn't I? Didn't know nothing about the mustard. All right. So, again, I'm going to let this get to boiling. Again, if you overflowed it a little bit like I did, turn your heat down, because it will boil over and get all on your stove like I did right there. No problem. Just wipe that shit up and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. You can see the butter layer on top. You can see the onions. And guess what? I couldn't resist. I had to add some of that garlic up in there. So I added a couple of garlic cloves. I love me some garlic. So yeah. And for those of you that are veggies, you might not want to be watching this video, because this is pure meat right here. I'm a meat eater. Alright, let me move my finger out the way. Now, also, after I add the mustard, once these get gray, I'm going to go ahead and add those potatoes as well. So once they turn gray, they're at that halfway point of pretty much free from blood and all that other stuff that happens when, you cook meat. But I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to get back to you guys later. And when through the miracle of time, when I come back, these bad boys will be gray. Look, check this out. Look, it's happening here already. Because that one's already in the water. See that? Let me grab it. if I can grab it. Look at that. That done already started to turn gray. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a real thin one. So those tend to cook fast. But that's what I'm talking about right there. When they get like this, and you can't see no blood, and they gray, they on their way. That's probably going to be one of the first ones I taste test to make sure I ain't got to add nothing else. But like I said before, in this time right here, doing this process, please do not taste the broth. Do not, I repeat, taste that broth. Because at this time, you can get sick. Because it's raw meat. It's raw pork. So I don't want to hear none of you all getting sick of stuff because you're trying to taste test the broth. At this point, it's stop. Now, when the meat turns gray, yeah, you can give it a little taste test. Alright, I'll see you guys back in a minute. Check this out. See the neck bones? Still trying to hold my camera steady. Now, see right here, I done had some of that boilage over. But you get you a nice little rag there. Wipe that off. You good to go. Check that out. See that? Nice and clean. Now, for the neck bones, look at that. They're that gray color I'm talking about. You see that? Let me see if I can get one way at the bottom. I know at the bottom, because they way in the water there. Not that one. Is that way in the water? Well, that's good enough. Yeah. Now, some of them might look a little pink on camera, but I'm looking at them with my naked eye. And, yeah. They got that gray color I'm talking about. Okay, so now, at this point, which I don't want to give you a specific time limit, because like I said, it depends on your stove. So, let's see. I'll say mine's been boiling for about 15 minutes now. 15 to 20 minutes and they turn gray. But I know they're not fork tender yet because it takes a little longer than that. Okay, so now I got my mustard. Now that happened to be French's classic yellow mustard. But again, it don't matter. I don't care if you got Meyer brand, Kroger brand, Sam's Club brand. As long as it's yellow mustard. And you just pour that in like that. Now, I'll say, I'm trying to think about how much are you pouring in. I've been doing neck bones for a long time. So, I'll say about maybe a cup. Yeah, 1 cup. And if you don't like to do it that way, you can always get one of these. One of these little cupfuls. So, it's about 1 cup of mustard. That I can tell you for sure. Okay? Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, alright? So, let me get that one about a cup I poured in there. Let me get some more. About a cup. Now, if you're, again, checking for your salt, let me see how much it's got in it. It's about 55 milligrams of salt. I've never seen low salt mustard. So, in that case, you're going to do what you do. Now, I want to get that kind of incorporated in the mixture. Now, it's going to boil in anyway. And, ooh, you can smell it. It just gives it a unique neck bone smell and flavor. I know I made a mess on the side. Don't worry about it. We ain't looking at the mess on the side. We're looking at the neck bones. Ooh, right away you can smell that. Now, what I find the mustard does as well, it makes them more tender. As well as add flavor to them. And it makes them juicy. I don't know what it is about mustard. I know we talking about neck bones, but I've also used mustard on chicken to like marinate chicken. I've also used mustard in seasoning ribs, and it gives us this. You don't taste the mustard when you do the it's like a marinade, low key, to be honest. It's like a marinade. When you do your ribs or your chicken, if you spread that on there while it's raw, it's like a marinade, and it makes it hold in the flavor, and it makes the meat juicier. Now, when I do it this way, like I said, it makes it more tender, and it makes them more juicy. Now, I'm going to get a fork here, see if I can reach. I got short arms. You take a look at that while I grab this fork, so I can show you what I'm talking about as far as tender. Okay, now here's a piece. I can't tear that right off. Remember when I showed you guys the corned beef video? Those of you that watched, just like the corned beef, you want this to be tender. Yeah, I can't even tear it off. Now, when it's tender enough for you to grab a fork, then it's done. But we're going to get to that about a little bit later. What I'm going to do now, like I told you, when it's gray, you're going to add the mustard, and I'm also going to add my potatoes. I'm going to give my potatoes a rinse. And shoot. I don't think there's enough space in this pot for me to even do that. I might have to get me another pot boiling on the side of water. Because honestly, look at that. The water's already there. And the Yukon potatoes about this big. About that big. They're nice small sized potatoes, but I don't want to overboil my pot. But then again, I also want to get that flavor of the juice boiled into the potatoes. So let me think what I'm going to do. Let me see how much meat. Now, that's a lot of neck bones in here. But see, when I can put my spoon in there, that's still room for potatoes. I think what I might wind up doing is, because all this is filled up with a lot of meat, I might just go ahead and get another pot full of boiling water and boil my potatoes that way. Cut them in half after they're done and plop them in here. Or the next option is I could let this boil down a bit more. So the water, because I know if I add some potatoes in this right now, that's going to overflow. I don't want that. I already got it overflowing here on the stove here. So I'm going to figure that out. But you do it at your own discretion. If you're doing what I'm doing here, if you're cooking it the way I'm cooking it, you can go ahead and get you another pot, fill it up with water, get it boiling, add your potatoes in there. Or you could toss it in here if your water's not so high. But that was a lot more neck bones in those packages than I thought. I thought they all could fit in here without it being so high up with the water. But it did boil down a little bit. Now, I'm going to let that go ahead and boil. Let that boil in. I'm going to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with my potatoes. And then I'm going to get back to you. Now, as far as recipes and seasonings and all that other stuff go, let me give you the whole list. You're going to need some onion powder, garlic powder, seasoning salt, Morton seasons if you prefer, pepper, and the Resistance yellow mustard. And if you like I do, you can put in chopped onion. And like I told you, I couldn't resist. I had to add the garlic cloves. And garlic cloves, you don't got to do that, because I know I put garlic powder in there and onion powder. But I love garlic and I love onion. So, hey, I put it in because I like it. And then some people I seen make this with tomatoes. Tomato paste. We all grew up different. If that's what you like, then you go for it. Then I seen some people put these in the oven. Again, if that's what you like, you do that. But I know my grandfather, my mom's dad, came from down south, and that's where we learned to cook our stuff. I don't think tomatoes is the down south thing. As it is, if it is, you guys let me know in the comments. But I don't see no tomatoes going up in here, or no tomato paste up in here. Now I've seen people put whole onions up in here, and that's so good. But the store I shop at don't have them like small little whole onions. That would have been awesome. Ooh, and I could tell they absorb that flavor real good. But nah. But again, do it your way. This is just how I do it. For those of you that don't know how to cook neck bones, you see how easy it is. Boiling water, seasonings that I'm pretty sure all of us have in our cabinet, butter, mustard, and it's on and popping. So, through the miracle of time, I'm going to go back and figure what the hell I'm going to do about these potatoes. Should I let the water boil down and then add them? Or should I get me a pot boiling on my other eye and get the potatoes done? I'll figure it out. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so thanks to Mama Poetic, she gave me a good idea. Taking some of the broth out of here, putting it in another pot, and then adding my potatoes to that pot. That way I don't lose the seasoning of the seasoning going in the potatoes. Now, you can throw these in whole, or you can cut them in half. I think I might cut them in half. Well, that one had to be cut because it looked like a little worm decided to feast on part of the potato. I didn't want to eat that. I didn't want that extra protein. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut these in half. toss them in the new liquid to let them boil with the seasoning. And what happens usually is by the time the potatoes get done, the neck bones are done. I don't know, that's just the way it works. And that's usually when you put them in here too with them. So, while that's doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and get our cornbread started. Y'all thought I forgot about the cornbread? Now, this is pretty simple. Let me see them instructions. There we go. You pretty much add milk, 1 egg, and preheat your oven. Real easy to make. Now, you can put this in a pot to do that old school style cornbread, or you can put them in muffin cups. It depends on what you like. But it says it here, 1 package of the Jiffy corn mix, 1 egg, 1/3 cup of milk. Preheat your oven to 400. Grease your pan or use paper baking cups. Stir that together. Y'all see all that. I ain't about to read that. Yeah. You can also make pancakes out of this, it says. Well, it's blurry. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so if you decide to buy this and do some pancakes, or what they got, Johnny cakes, you can do that too. Ooh, those are good too. But I ain't got time for all that. I might just pretty much mix this in the pan and make some old school style cornbread cake style when you cut them cake slices or pie slices. Yeah, so I got that over there boiling. I'm going to add the rest of my potatoes. I'm going to go ahead and cut my potatoes in half. Now, you ain't got to cut your potatoes in half, but I like to cut them in half so they can get done faster. But usually, by the time it takes for the potatoes to get done, your neck bones are done. But it depends on your stove. So don't forget to get your fork. See if they fork tender where you can pull that meat apart. Matter of fact, let me grab a fork. Can I pull this apart yet? I should be able to just pull it. Nope, still tough. I pulled that up, but yeah, that's tough. But I can taste it. Let me dip it. Oh yeah, still tough. Now, I did add some more water because I did take out some of the juice in there. And what I want to do is get this back to boiling. But yeah, that's still pretty much tough. But the way it works usually, which I don't know why, when they get gray like that and then you add your potatoes, by the time the potatoes get done, the meat should be done. And if not, keep on boiling until your neck bones are tender, where you can pull it with a fork. Okay, I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, now I got my little silver bowl. Look at my hand and all up in the way. I got my silver bowl ready for my Jiffy mix. Now I'm going to save you the video, and some of y'all might want to see me mix this up. But like I said, I'm holding my camera with my hands. So I got my Jiffy mix, I got my egg, and I got my milk on the side. It's nothing to it but to do it. For those of you who want to know again how it's made, go ahead and buy you this. This is about 99 cents. See the instructions there? You need to mix 1 egg and 1/3 cup milk. You're going to stir it up. Now when you stir it up, the batter going to be slightly lumpy. I got my pan already nice and oiled and greased up so that the batter won't stick to the sides when it's done. And I'm going to show you the finished product. Alright, see you guys in a minute. Alright, now last time I left you guys, which to you was like 1 second ago, I had got my corn muffin mix ready. And check this out, look at this. Ooh, yeah. Now those lines are in it where I stuck my knife to make sure when I did the pull out, it was all clean. That's how you check it. Now they have how many minutes you do that on the package, but to be real, you can't go by that because it depends on the strength of your oven. So what I did was I stuck a knife in it, made sure the knife came out clean, just like you do a cake. Now, I still got these boiling, and I got my potatoes over there boiling. So, like I told you guys, I'm going to check the potatoes. And if the potatoes are done, that means the neck bone should be done. So, like I told you in one of my older videos, how you check it is you take your fork, you can see that right there. Again, I'm holding the camera. And let me show you, because some of y'all talk a lot of shit. Look, you see that? That's my camera leg. That's why my camera ain't tall enough. You don't like it? Buy me a camera stand. But where was I? Some of these shit talkers. I gotta talk shit too. Anyway, what you do is to make sure that your potatoes are done, you take a fork. Stick a fork in it. See how I went in like that? That's done. So now we're going to come here. Let me see a piece of meat. Okay, that's bone. Let me see. Check this one. Ooh, that's nice and meaty. Ooh, I can tell already. You see that? That's what I'm talking about. That's done. Look at that. Oh, yeah. That is done. So now what I'm about to do is give me a plate and plate up. We're going to see how pretty this can be after it's done. Now, again, to me, this took about 3 hours complete with everything. To you, your stove might be a little different. You know what I'm saying? So it might take a little longer for you or even faster. And if you're on a gas stove with that direct heat, ooh, this probably been done in an hour and a half. Ain't no telling. Let me get my plates and get this popping so you can see how the finished product looks. Check me out, y'all. There we go. We got the cornbread muffin. We got the potatoes. And we got the neck bones here. Now, normally I will put this in a bowl so I can get all that juice. But because I'm doing this for you guys, I put it on the plate. Now, when you put it on, or excuse me, if you put it in a bowl, all that juice gets to marinate the potatoes and everything else. But my piece of resistance, when I do put it on the plate, is some hot sauce. Oh yeah, just like that. Put a little on the potatoes. And to make it pretty for y'all, you can add a little color like that with some parsley flakes. Just because some of y'all are visual. And to me, a lot of times when you put it on the plate, you lose all that good seasoning flavor from the broth. So that's when I add a little bit more of that Morton seasoning on it. Just a little bit for taste and salt flavor. Because like I said, when you put it on the plate, it's not within the juice. So you lose a lot of that flavor. And I got my beer on the side here. Let me crank that open. Alright. And hey, I'm about to get it in. So cheers to you guys. Pow! Right there. Thanks so much for watching my video. Let me take this drink right here. Oh shoot, before I do that, this cheers goes out to my viewers, my subscribers, the people that leave comments. Even though some of y'all don't be leaving comments. And for those of you that leave likes, I appreciate it. So cheers to you. Let me take a gulp. Alright now. So I'm about to get it in and get my grub-a-dub-dub on. Now, like I said, a lot of you guys, you don't have to eat the pork. You can eat the beef. And then when you cook it all up, if you put it on the plate, it's going to lose some of that flavor because, hey, we made that broth for a reason. So, like I said, I put it on the plate for you guys for it to look all pretty and shit. So it's looking all pretty, and I'm good to go. I'm about to get it in. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys taking your time out to see what the hell I'm doing and what I'm making. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And again, as always, if you have any suggestions, send your suggestions to PoeticDoesIt@gmail.com. If it ain't all crazy or weird, I'll cook it or try it out. Love you guys. Peace.